Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Corey from CJ Custom Fishing Lures, bringing you another bait that we're going to paint today. And today we are going to be painting a 3.5-inch wake rat. Love using this bait. It's been one of the explosive topwater activity that I see, and so we're going to paint it one of the favorite colors I love to paint it in. I call it Midnight Horror, but this is what we're going to paint today. So again, I just want to give a shout out and thanks to everybody that's been watching the videos, everybody that's been liking, subscribing to the channel. If you like the content, please do. Please share it with people. Please let people know that we are painting these lures, just so we can share the joy of this hobby and the sport of fishing. So let's get started painting this bait. We're going to start it off, even though it's kind of already in a white and bone pattern color already on there. I am going to put a base coat on there. Always going to start with my base coat of opaque white from Createx. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to fill it into my air gun. And again, my air gun, I'm using the Iwata Airbrush. Just give that a quick shake. I already shook it a little bit this morning. And then I'm not going to worry necessarily about directionality while I paint. I'm just going to get the bait covered. So we're just going to cover the whole bait in white. You might say it's already bone. It's already a white color. And yes, you can run with it. You might even ask why I'm going to do the next color. But I like to put this on just to give it just that clear pattern, that clear canvas. So I can start right from scratch, start right from a nice clear white, and build upon it. Now you can put other colors on there if you wanted to as your base. But I choose to use the white base to help me to build my patterns and build my colors. So we have that on there. Just cleaning out the white from the airbrush. I am going to give it a heat set. And I have my heat gun, which is my Org Pro heat gun. I love this gun. As I've said in my other videos, it does great. I keep it on low heat as I'm going through just to kind of get this a little dry. But I also use this when I'm making my jigs, or I should say painting my jigs, to heat the jig up. I'm able to set my heat gun down and it doesn't overheat like I've had for other heat guns that I've used for that. So it's been a very good tool for me, and I hope it'd be good for you if you choose to use it. So I'm getting it dried up here a little bit. As you can see, there's a lot of detail to this. You don't necessarily have to do all the detail, but we're going to do a good bit of it as well. So to do this pattern, what I'm going to take is, I'm going to take Pearl Black from Createx. Now that's one of the reasons I usually come by and do Pearl White over that to give it that shine, but the black is going to take care of it for me. Plus I want this bait to be black as one of its main colors, so I figured why not just use the Pearl Black and do that. And again, I'm just covering it now. I put it on white just so I feel like it covers better when I put the base coat of white. So now I'm just going to base coat that. I'm going to add a little more paint. Remember, you can always put a little paint in the airbrush. You don't have to gob it in there, because a lot of times, unless you scrape it back in, you're going to waste paint. So I'm going to get this on here nice and dark. And there's a lot of ways that you can paint these. People put hair patterns on them, put crazy colors on them. I make one that has an armor pattern on it that I picked up and I learned from somebody. I think it was TJ Hatfield's video I watched, or maybe it was Frank Ponton out of Clark Hill Lures. So there we go. That looks really good. Nice and dark. Getting that feel right there. That looks good. Looks really good. And it's got a little shimmer and shine like we want with the pearl. So just going to clean out the airbrush. And again, all I use to clean it out is I squirt a little water in there, I backflow it, and then I wipe it out. Now when I backflow, just to let you know, is I'll put something in, I'll put my finger right on the tip, push down, I have the dual trigger down for the air, and then I pull back to allow it to backflow in, and that helps to loosen anything up that might be stuck in there, because the last thing you want is some type of paint chunk or foreign object stuck in there. So I am going to heat set this because we are going to do some work with it. I do have some eyes I'm going to put on here, but we're going to do something cool with the one eye. But we're going to show that today. A lot of times in my videos I've been showing that I put a UV on, but I don't put it on there because they say to let it dry and then put with the eyes. And I found out I could put it right over the eyes. It's been kind of nice learning some new things. You know, you can always learn new. So we're going to do some detail work here in the ear on both sides. I'm doing this because I wanted to just to give it a little color, give it a little pizzazz. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use from Createx the fluorescent colors. I'm going to use fluorescent hot pink for this, and it's just to put a little color inside the ears. And when you have black as your base coat in this set, the colors are going to come out a little darker, and so it's not going to be a bright necessarily pink, but it'll still be fluorescent, just a little darker shade. So nice and light, right inside the ear. I'll show you in a second. Let me get the other side going here. So I'm going to put it so you can start to see it. I'm going to heat set it because I want to put a little more on there. Another base coat to it. Not a base coat, but another layer of it, I should say. So I don't want it to be wet, so I'm just spraying it around. I want to get it nice and dry so I can put another coat on it. And again, this is just personal taste. You could put a different color in here if you really wanted to. I just like using the pink color because it just appeals to me on that look there. So, all right. So there we have it. Right up in the ears. That looks pretty good. So we also noticed that we have on each side, well, obviously we got 4 feet all together, but I'm not going to necessarily paint all 4 of them. Because of the pattern I'm going to use, I'm only going to paint 1 on each side. And I just got to figure out which ones I want to paint on each side. So I'm going to start with this little one right here. I'm going to have my pressure way down. You can get a piece of cardboard or something to hold the stencil so it's not all over the place. If you don't trust your spraying. And I think what I'm going to do is put it on my sponge at this moment so I can get a good look at it. And there's a reason I'm only painting a couple, and I don't want to ruin that surprise until it happens. So I'm going to just I have this piece of cardboard cut. I'm just going to put the edge, and I'm going to shoot to get to the edge of the paper. Make sure I get that in the view for you. And I'm going to slowly work up the foot, or the paw, or whatever you want to call it on this rat bait. I'm just going to walk to the other side. And when you're doing stuff like this, you want to shoot to hit the edge of the paper, because then the overspray will come on. So if you see here, I hit the edge of the paper here. And when I did that, it came out on the foot right there. So, all right, I'm going to take it right down the claws just a little bit, and that can be tricky. Don't again, you're looking for the edge of the paper, and that should do the job for you. And they're small, so understand it's not going to take necessarily a lot of paint. You don't need to blast it out of there. Some nice low pressure should do the job for you. And you can have some fun with this. If you want to do them different colors, by all means, go ahead. If you only want to do, oh, there's 5 there, but if you only want to do 4, only do 4. Make it look like one disappeared. All right, so there we go. Right there. So that's the first one on the front. Now I'm going to speed it up really, really quick because I'm going to flip this bait over. And the last thing I want it is for this to run. And then I'm going to do the back. And the back one is a little bigger. So it's a little bigger of a canvas to paint on. But I'm going to do the exact same way. I'm going to take my little piece here, put it on the edge. Just shoot for the edge of the paper and let the overspray do the work. Then I'm going to come to the other side. It's got a little curve in it, so if I can find a piece on the paper here that has a curved area, there we go. Then again, we're just shooting for the edge. And by doing that, it fills it in there, and it doesn't make it too heavy, doesn't make it too dark. I am going to come back and do the little toes, claws, whatever you want to call them on these things. Again, we're shooting light. We're not going heavy on it. If you just want to give it a little highlight and not have to have it really dark, you can do that. Because when you see the rest of this pattern, you're going to understand why we do what we do. So, looks just like that. So, time to do the rest of our bait. And what we're going to do for this, I'm going to put it back in the helping hands. And I'm going to pick a couple areas. I'm going to take the airbrush out. And I call this Midnight Horror because I'm going to give this a wounded look. I'm going to give it a type of a bloody look. And I want to make it look like spots like it's been injured or wounded. And the reason I picked only one leg on each side is because on each side I'm definitely going to use that area to mark. So I'm going to take some white again. And not too heavy, not too light. I'm just going to give it a white coat so when I go to put the red in, it shows a little bit. It has like that wound look for it. And then it kind of gives it that kind of a creepy look, as my wife would say it. So I'm going to take this foot here and I'm just going to go over it in white, just like this. I'm not going to be specific, just going to make some circles with it. Just something white like that. Then I'm going to go on the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing on this leg. And maybe I don't do the whole thing, but I'm going to do the toes area. One thing I like to do is I like to do up in the face as well. And it gives it a great effect. So I'm going to dig it right over this eye, and then we're going to do some fun with the eye as well. So right up here on the nose, right there. I might go back over here on the top of this, right up on here. And then underneath, I can do it a little underneath, but I already have it spreading down. But maybe I'll just give it a little more right in this area. All right. So you might ask why, but just trust the process for me on this one. So we have the white on there. And now we're going to come back and give it that wounded look. Give it that really nasty, creepy horror movie type look. And one of the colors I have, it's from Createx as well. It's from their illustration colors. It's actually called Bloodline. It's from the Bloodline Blood Red. So it hopefully gives us that look we're looking for. Now to do this, I'm going to use one of my stencils that I use on a lot of baits. Let's get the brush here ready. turn the pressure down because, again, no matter what line it comes from, red seems to be really thin and the red shoots all really fast. So I'm going to use this stencil I got. It's just floral stencil that I got somewhere. I have it in the weaving loom. And I'm just going to put it over that white area, just like that. And then I'm just going to take the brush and go, and if I go outside the white, that's fine. And when I pull it off, it gives that look right there. I don't know if you can see. Let's get that good look there. And then I'm going to do it to the other areas as well. That one came out pretty cool right there. And we're going to flip it over. I had a spot on this back foot. And then, as I said, I have up by the face here. It gives it that nice little zombie, creepy look, whatever you want to call it. And so what I like to do afterwards is I wipe off the stencil just because I don't want that to spray. Now, I look and I say, do I need any more in an area? So like this up here, I might want that a little more on it. So I'm going to bring the stencil back, see if I can find a spot that maybe a little thicker. Oh, see, that looks better. Look at that. Bringing it to life. Then what I do after this is I just take my gun and I just start spritzing the whole thing red. So it gives that bloody drop of look on it. Gives it a nasty type look. And so there we have that look right there. Now you could leave it just right there and be done, and I'm going to give it a heat set because there's a couple other things I like to do with these baits. And obviously you're going to know that one, if you've watched my other videos, love to do some paint shifter. Love to throw some paint shifter on there. We're going to do that. And plus, since I have this wake bait, this jointed wake bait, I do something with it to help it out, to give it even more of a creepy, wounded look to it. Now, this is a bait that has a tail, but we'll put that on at the end. So when I show the final picture of everything, it will have the tail on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it out of my helping hands. But first off, I'm going to use my transparent red, my transparent bright red. Let me load that in the gun. Then we'll take it out of the helping hands. Push the pressures down. Take it out of the helping hands. And I'm going to do the inside of the joint here. I'm going to paint it red. One of the reasons I do is because I wanted to make it look wounded. So when it stops and the side's open, it's going to have this red look to it. And hopefully that attracts what we're looking for with the fish. So just going to take the red nice and easy. And a lot of my swim baits, my jointed swim baits that I do, I'll do this. I will paint the whole pattern, but on the joints I put red. And some people ask me why not just leave it natural, and you could just leave it natural, and that's totally fine. A lot of people make beautiful baits and just have it naturally going through the joint as well. When I started using some of the swim baits and I saw it had the ones that had the red in the middle, when they stopped and it just looked like you jerk the bait and it looks wounded coming through, and then all of a sudden you have this red area. Look pretty enticing. If I was a fish, I know I would have eaten it. Just saying. Plus, you're going to notice, let's see if you can see it, with the black on the top, and then you put the red underneath, it almost looks like it's the fur pattern or the skin pattern. Then you get down into it, and it looks busted up. So there we have it. Now you sometimes got to watch. Sometimes on the other side it'll click back and catch it. But then I have it looking like that. And so gives it that look I'm looking for, that nasty, that critter look to it. Just a beautiful look to the bait. Now my last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my paint shifter on the top. I got to clean out my airbrush. Now I don't want a paint shifter that's going to alter the color pattern. I'm just looking for something to give it a little different look in the sun, give it a little different look in the ripples of the water. So from Turbo Dork, I'm going to use this one called Dark Net. All right, so from Turbo Dork, it's called Dark Net. So we're going to definitely put it toward the face of this, because it makes sense. And then we're going to put it down the back in a few other places. And again, as I said before, this Turbo Dork can shoot a little thick. So I put a little of my reducer in there, my 4011 reducer. Backflow it to get it mixed up. That way I don't have to stick anything in there and cause it to get snagged or caught in there. So all I'm going to do is just put it on top. And this is one of my, it's a subtle paint shifter. It's not going to go crazy, but it's going to give it that little shine, that little different look. Just going to give it up on some different areas, mostly on the areas where I still have black. And there you go. And when I get the clear coat on that, that'll really make it pop and shine. All right, so let me get that out of the airbrush. Now, before I can go and do the UVLS, I gotta get it to dry a little and get a heat set. But I am gonna show you what we're gonna do with the eyes. It's a lot of fun that I do with the eyes. My daughter got me onto it. She said, "Hey, Dad, since you got it wounded, since it's got that look to it, you should do something with the eye as well, because the eye wouldn't naturally just stay in there as it is with that look." So for this bait, I use these red eyes, and it's a 3.5 millimeter eye, so it's really, really tiny. And so we're gonna get the first side set over here. And so to do that, we're just gonna helping hands tip it. I got my super glue, and it's the Loctite super glue. I'll show you here in a second. I'm gonna get the eyes out. All right, I use the gel. You can use the liquid. It's just the gel is very clean. It's low, so it's not all over the place. So, and it doesn't take a lot, just a little. And since this is a smaller eye, I could just put a little dab in there. You could sing the song "A Little Dab Will Do You" if you want. And then I put the eye in, just like that. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but then we're gonna have some fun with it. So, put the eye in, glue, a little dab. A lot of people will use an X-Acto knife, will use tweezers to put these eyes in. I do sometimes, but I want control, and I feel like I have more control when I use just my hands, and I try to keep the gloves on so it doesn't cause problems. Now, the eye's in there, but it doesn't look right with that eye looking like that. So what I like to do is I take my white, I will take my dot makers, whichever one I so choose, it doesn't matter. I'll probably take the smaller one. These are, my daughter gave these to me. She used these when she was younger, putting them on her nails. So I use these to make dots. So all I'm gonna do is take the white cap off, and then I'm just going to whiten the eye. Gonna get it all the way around there. And give it that dead eye look, like it is wounded and useless. And it gives it a very creepy look. Usual words from my wife are ew. That looks nasty. So I'm just gonna give it a quick heat set because I don't want to mess up anything with the glue. There you go. Look at that. That's interesting looking color there. So we're gonna let this bait dry for a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll put some UVLS on it, and I'll show that, just spraying that on there, and then we will talk about and review the colors that we put on there before the clear cut. So we'll give this a little bit to dry, and then we'll be back. Welcome back. The bait is now dry, so now we need to put our gloss coat on and put our UVLS on it. So what I'm going to use is Createx UVLS gloss, and I'm going to mix that up, and we're going to spray it on here. Now I'm going to make a little extra because I have some other baits that I got to spray as well. So I just take my little cup, and then I pour some in. And then I take my 411 reducer and I put it in there as well. I probably should measure better, but I try to get it so it's not thick and it's a nice liquid, and so it's easy to spray through the gun. You probably saw that splash right there. Maybe that's why I wear my glasses while I paint. So we have that all set. So then all I do is I just pour it in my gun, make sure we're spraying, and then I'll just spray right over top this whole bait. Want to get it nice and wet, top, the bottom, and behind on it, right in the middle of it. So I'm going to open it up a little bit so I can spray in there. I just want to put this on here because this helps to seal the colors on there, helps to, for potentially, like when you're moving it around, it doesn't get dinged up too much. And I always sign my name on my baits. As somebody said, if you make them, you should sign them. It's your handiwork. So I get it on there, and so that helps to not chip the paint when I go to sign it. So if I put the UVLS on, I let it dry, I can come back and I can put my initials on here, and it doesn't chip off as well. It doesn't chip off as easily. So there we go. That's our bait right there before we stick it into the clear coat. So I'm going to run back through what we used. The blank I got, the little wake rat, I got from Backwater Outfitting. And then I sprayed it with a little Createx opaque white as a base coat. And then over top of that base coat, I put Pearl Black from Createx. When that was done, we came back with the white using just our stencil here, just a little floral stencil that we got. Put it on there after we put the white on, and then we hit it with the Illustrations Bloodline. It says Tim Gore's Bloodline from Createx, and we use Blood Red. We also put, I think we did this first, the fluorescent hot pink into the ears and onto the feet. After that, we took the transparent red and added that to the middle of the bait. And then on top of, sorry, grabbed the wrong one, we put Turbo Dork Dark Net as the little paint shifter on top. So, and then the eyes, where just the red eyes, 3.5 millimeter, and then on the other side, we did dead in the eye and made it white. So hopefully you found some tricks. Hopefully you found something new that you can try. Hopefully these techniques and strategies are helpful to you. I will be clear coating this bait. I'll be putting the final pictures on it. Understand when I put them on there, we're going to have a bill for the wake, and then we also have the tail that goes on the bait as well. So hopefully you found it. If you like it, please like, please subscribe, please hit the bell so you can be notified, and so people know about this, and please let people know about what we're doing here, and that what they can learn as well. So this is Corey from CJ Custom Fishing Lures. Finishing up these baits. We're here at CJ Custom Fishing Lures. We make serious baits for serious fish. Good luck on the water, and we will talk to you soon.